Good morning, class 9th. As in the previous two videos, you have studied about the tissues and also you have studied about a category of a plant tissue. Now, let us do the quick revision of the last two videos, and also in this video, I'm going to explain you about specialized cell. Now, children, tissues are a group of cells performing a common function, and remember they also belong to the same origin. And it is not necessary that in a tissue all the cells should be connected to one another. If cells are performing a common task, then they can be called as a tissue. Now, children, we have studied about the grade of organization or levels of organization. Like initially it's a cell, many cells combine together to form a tissue. Many tissue combine together, and when they perform a common function, it is called as an organ. And when many organs come together and perform a function, it is called as organ system. And now many organ system combines together, it form an organism. Now this means from cell, tissue is formed, from tissue organ is formed, from organ system is formed, and from organ system organism is formed. Now children, what is a specialized cell? Now just pay attention here, children. When there is a fusion of the male and the female gamete, a single cell structure is formed, and that structure is called as zygote. Now children, this zygote further divides to form an embryo and further forms an individual or a baby. Now just imagine that in the zygote is made up of only single cell, but this single cell has the capability to form the whole body. How? This means that initially this zygote, the cell of the zygote divides repeatedly and form a bunch of cells. Now these bunch of cells are not specialized, but after some time they become specialized. Specialized means, suppose this cell forms the cells of the hand, this cell forms the cell of the stomach, this cell forms the cell of the brain. So now they are specialized. They are performing a specific function. So these type of cells are called as specialized cells. Now just look at the slide here. Plants and animals consist of many cells and therefore known as multicellular. They contain many different types of cells. Each type of cell is designed to carry out a particular job or function. This is known as cell specialism. I think this point is clear to you now. And not all cells look the same. Just take an example of a neuron. Structure of neuron is somewhat like this. Now children, this is a different type of cell. This nerve cell is involved in the conduction of the impulses. So that's why it is said here that not all cells look the same. The structure of cell is according to the function it performs. Just remember, some cells have a special shape and feature to help them do a certain job. Okay children, now I wish to give you an example here of a xylem tissue. Now remember children, xylem is a tissue involved in the conduction of water and minerals. Now it has 4 types of cells. If you remember, it is made up of xylem vessels, tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Among these 4, only xylem parenchyma is a living one and the remaining are the dead. Now children, xylem is also a tissue performing the function of conduction of water and minerals, but it has 4 types of cells. Now all these cells are involved in the conduction of water and minerals. I think you are getting my point now, that though the cells can be similar or it can be dissimilar, but performing a common function is called as a tissue. I think now you remember that cells of similar origin should be similar, but it can be different in its structure. It can be similar or it can be dissimilar, and performing a common function is called as a tissue. Now children, types of plant tissues. Two types of plant tissues are there, meristematic and permanent. Now meristematic tissue is the tissue which contains actively dividing cells. Now children, these are actively dividing and are undifferentiated. These cells, after the division, one cell remain in the meristematic part and the other cell becomes specialized and gets converted into permanent tissues. Now this means that from this meristematic cell, this root cell is also formed, this sieve cell or the part of the phloem is also formed, leaf cell is also formed, xylem cell will also be formed. I think this is clear to you now. Now children, types of meristematic tissue on the basis of their location. Now apical meristem means located at the apex. This is the shoot apical meristem, this is the root apical meristem. Intercalary meristem means present in between the permanent tissues. And the last one is the lateral meristem. This lateral meristem is responsible for increasing the diameter, of a plant. Now children, what are the chief characteristics of the meristematic tissue? The cells are small, thin and usually cubical. Nucleus large and prominent, because I have told you that during the cell division, the main function occurs in the nucleus. That's why it's prominent and large. Vacuoles are almost absent because they do not they are not indulged in any of the function which requires the absorption of water, like roots. Now, no intercellular spaces because division occurs rapidly, so no intercellular spaces are present. Actively dividing cells and new cells forms permanent tissue, as I have told you in the previous slide. So children, this was all about the tissues, plant tissue and meristematic tissue. In the next class, in the next video, I'm going to explain you about permanent tissue. Children, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.